Hey, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to take a tablet or a phone, either with the controllers like attached already or attached on with like the backbone controller, and show you how to use it as a Wii U gamepad when using the Cemu Wii U emulator. So I know this works with Android tablets. This specific one's the AYN Odin 2 Portal, but it should also work with Apple stuff as well, because we're going to be using the Moonlight software, which is on there. So once we get everything set up, we're going to be able to have like the main TV screen for the Wii U up on the monitor, and then as intended, have this tablet as the Wii U gamepad for an authentic experience. So we're gonna start out with a pretty basic setup of the Cemu emulator to get started, and then after that, I'll show you how to transform this guy into the Wii U tablet. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is open up the internet. We're gonna search for the Cemu emulator. Gonna open up this website, Cemu emulator or cemu.info. Go to the download link. 2.6 is the latest version. Read all that. We're gonna pick the best one for our system. So I have a Windows system, so I'm using the Windows installer or the Windows folder. I'm just gonna save it to wherever your downloads go. Open up your downloads folder. Just move that wherever you want your emulators to be. So I'm going ahead and copying it, or cutting it. And this is where I like my emulators. So it's getting paste, and then I'm just going to unzip it right here. Cemu packs it nicely, so it's just going to unpack the whole folder that we want. Open that up. And I like all my emulator files to be in the same place. I don't want extra stuff going to app data or anything. So Cemu has a way to make it portable, which means everything's going to go in the same folder as all the other Cemu stuff. So I just went ahead and made a folder named portable within Cemu, which is going to put all those files that would have went to other places in the same folder. Okay, so this is asking you where you want to put your games and updates. Just put it wherever you want. I like it to still be in the same Cemu folder, so that's where I'm going to put it. And yep, just going to name it games and updates. That's to like download extra graphics packs and mods. It'll just make your games look better or tweak the gameplay somewhat. I'm not gonna mess with that right now. It's just basic setup, but have fun with those if you want. And usually you would configure the input settings here, but since we're gonna show you how to make your tablet into a gamepad, we have to do a few other things before that. And yeah, you can make a separate window for the pad screen, which is going to be vital to making our little contraption work. But we can go ahead and exit out on that for now. And I'm just going to run through the options real quick. Cemu kind of is set up pretty nicely out of the box, so there's not really a whole lot we need to do. So just feel free to look at these settings and read what they do when you download it. I turned off Discord because I don't really care about that. But as you'll see here in a second, most of the settings are set up pretty nice. You want to use Vulkan if you have a modern graphic card. I use G-Sync, so I have V-Sync turned off in these settings. And all that stuff is fine. I mean, figure out what you like or per game basis on what you need to have set up. But overall, default settings are fine until you need to start tweaking things for per game situations. Not sure why I went to general, back to general there. And there's your options again. Feel free at your leisure to go through everything, figure out what everything does. But just to jump into a game, we're fine. So what I'm not going to do in this tutorial is really show you how to get games, which is the next step. So off screen, I'm going to get my games loaded up. But again, I can't really show you how to get games because this isn't that kind of tutorial. But there's a lot of ways to do that. I think the preferred method is dumping your games from an actual Wii U system. So I will get back to you, showing up the first part of setting up the gamepad, but that is where you can stop if you just want to find out how to install Cemu. Okay, so here we are on the home screen of our phone or tablet. In this step, we're going to download an app that we need to get the display and controls working to use the tablet as a Wii U gamepad. So we're going to go ahead and open up the Play Store, and we're going to search for a software called Moonlight Game Streaming. So it's going to be this one right here. We're going to hit install. I'm going to open this up. And we can't do anything with it yet, but we're going to go ahead and set up the configuration that we want for it. So let's open up settings. My tablet's 1080p, so my streaming can handle it. So I'm setting it to 1080p. Got some other options. 60 frames per second is nice. Feel free to look at some of these things that I don't get into if you want, but I'm going to show you what's required to get the gamepad working, at least on this tablet. So I went ahead and checked that off just so the system always thinks there's a gamepad, because otherwise you would have to move around the stick or press a button or something to get it working, and I just wanted to be there. So I'm also turning off the game driver because my tablet already has one in there. I'm assuming if yours does not have 360 controller support, you would want to turn that on. But if it already does, I don't. Seems a little redundant. And so my tablet doesn't actually use the rumble as a controller, it flags it as a device itself. So I'm going to turn on emulate rumble support with vibration. But if your device actually uses the controllers vibrate, you probably want to leave that off. And like the rumble, my tablet uses, it flags as the device's motion sensors itself. So we're going to turn off the gamepad motion sensors, and we're going to turn on emulate gamepad motion sensor support. So it's using the tablet's gyros. We want to turn off, use the touchscreen as a trackpad, because, on the Wii U, you want to be able to like tap anywhere, and if that's on, it expects you to drag it around like a trackpad. So we're turning that off just so we can tap at will. Yep, we don't really need any of these checked. But here's some more options for you. We will turn on play audio on PC, so we can use our good TV speakers, not just have to hear it coming out of the tablet. So with that is, like all the pre-work we need for one of the future steps to get this thing working. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to need to get this working is for the PC to identify that there's a second monitor plugged in. So you don't actually have to have a second monitor like a real one, because there's a software that will just tell your PC that there's another monitor plugged in. If you do have a second monitor and you just want to use that without worrying about the software, then just ignore any of the upcoming steps related to that and just translate the relevant info to your real monitor. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set up a virtual display driver. Okay, so we are going to open up the internet and search for the program called Virtual Display Driver. Going to click on the GitHub link, go to the releases, and that's the newest one, so that's the one that we want. Go ahead and find the Windows installer for it. And it's going to give you a warning, it's like untested or something, but it's fine. It does not have any viruses. So we just got to let them know that we want to keep it. Accept all these agreements, get this app installed. You can just leave it on best, works fine on there. We only need one virtual display, so we're just going to tell one. Just keep all the components installed. Start menu. And then install it. So this is actually installing the driver right here. I just unchecked always trust it because I don't know these people. But we can install the driver. Gonna hit finish. It's gonna open up the control for it. This is where you can turn the driver on or off, but we don't really need to do any of that. We're gonna check that it's set up for 1080p in the Windows display. So 1 is my real monitor, 4 is the virtual monitor. So that just goes to show you Windows thinks there is another display plugged in. Just keep the settings normal. And yeah, I was just making sure that the display was on 1080p so it scales well when we end up streaming it to our tablet. Okay, so now we're going to download the last piece of software that we need. This is going to allow us to stream our video from the PC to the Moonlight client that we set up on the tablet. So we're going to go ahead and open up the internet and we're going to search for the name of the app, which is Sunshine Game Streaming. It's going to be this GitHub link right here. And we're just going to download the latest release. So we'll click on that, look for the Windows installer. Save it. And we're just going to install this how we install everything else. Accept this agreement. Install it wherever you want. And there's not any reason to not keep any of the components, so we'll just keep all of those just to make sure everything runs how we want it. Wait for it to install. It's going to pull up this page. We don't really need to do anything on this page. It's a little documentation letting you know how everything works. But to actually get the app up and running, we're going to go down to our system tray, find the Sunshine logo, right click, open Sunshine. Here you're just going to make a local password. This isn't really a real account. This is just locally for your Sunshine streaming to log in and use the app. So just put your username and password as whatever you want. And on these next pages, we're going to go ahead and sign in again. And on these next pages, we're just going to do a little bit of pre-work to make sure we have the streaming set up correctly for the gamepad to work. So first thing we want to do is go to the troubleshooting section. Up at the top. And what we're going to do there is we're looking for the display ID of our virtual driver. So it's going to tell you everything that's plugged in. Just look for the actual virtual driver. We can see it down there. And what we want is the device ID starting and ending with the brackets. So we're going to highlight the whole thing and then copy that ID. This is letting Sunshine know that that's the video that we want to stream to the tablet, not the primary monitor. And we're looking for display device ID. We're going to click on that, and we're going to paste that entire ID that we just copied for our virtual display driver. Or if you have a second monitor, your secondary monitor, if you're using a real one. Whatever you're putting the gamepad screen on. So now we just need to confirm it by scrolling all the way to the bottom. And apply it, wait for it to restart. Okay, and we are good there. So that was kind of the last of all the pre-work and installing that we need to do before we're going to put all this together now into making our tablet or phone into the Wii U gamepad. Okay, so now we have both Android and Windows open, and I'm going to show you how to put it all together to use the tablet as the controller. So we got to make sure Sunshine is still open, and then over on Android, we're going to open back up our Moonlight app. So hit Moonlight, connect to the PC that you'll be running Cemu off of and that you have Sunshine running on. We're going to click on it. It's going to send a pairing request on the PC. So we'll open up Sunshine, hit pin, and then type in the pin that it tells you on your tablet. Put whatever you want for the device name. Okay, and then that's going to link you up. So then on the tablet, we're going to hit desktop so that we can stream the whole desktop of the PC. And so that background that you're seeing, that is our virtual display driver. So now you can actually see it. Or if you're using your second monitor, then it should be showing the correct monitor that you want to have the Wii U gamepad on. Make sure you hit a button or something on your tablet or controller just so Moonlight recognizes that there is a controller plugged in before we set it up in Cemu. On Cemu, we're going to go to Options, Input, Settings, and now we're going to actually get some buttons configured so we can use it. Put whatever you want for the profile name. That's just so you can quickly load it back up later. We're going to emulate the Wii U gamepad, and we're going to be looking to recognize it as a PS4 controller. So hit SDL controller, and then your tablet should show up as a PS4 controller. Go ahead and hit add there. and it's going to automatically map everything. Make sure your sticks are working, so the controller's being recognized. We still need to set up the motion controls in the rumble, so we'll hit settings, use motion, move that rumble up to 100%. Should feel vibrate on your thing. Not going to know if the motion's working yet though. We're going to hit OK. Save that so we can come back to it if you ever want it. And now let's see this thing actually running a game. So we'll use Nintendo Land to make sure the gyro and everything are working. Gonna drag that gamepad screen over to your virtual display and maximize it. Open up Nintendo Land. And so now you know the gyro is working because it's asking you to calibrate it. Let's go ahead and make these things full screen so you can use the shortcut Alt-Enter on both windows. Click into this other window, Alt-Enter. And if you look at both screens, you can see that the cursor only shows up on the tablet one. So you're actually seeing two different video feeds, just like the Wii U. That's me moving the tablet around for the actual gyro controls. So yeah, that's everything working if you want the authentic Wii U experience.
Mario Kart 7! Mario! It's me, Mario!